Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Vinzo, where we dive into the most talked-about stories and controversies in the world of politics and law. Today, we're exploring a developing scandal that could go all the way to the top. Former FBI Director James Comey's indictment. So, what's behind this shocking move? The federal grand jury has indicted Comey on 2 false statements charges related to his Senate testimony about the Russia inquiry in 2020. Now, you might be thinking, wait, isn't this just a personal attack? Well, not exactly. This case is a test of the Justice Department's credibility and the limits of presidential influence over prosecutions. Harry Litman, a former U.S. attorney, warns that if prosecutors don't get this right, it could be career-ending for them. And with the stakes so high, it's clear that Comey is not taking this lying down. In fact, he's already fired back, calling the indictment a personal attack and saying he has great confidence in the federal judicial system. But what makes this case so complicated? For starters, prosecutors need to prove that Comey knowingly made false statements. And let me tell you, that's not an easy task when dealing with senior officials who have complex testimonies. Litman notes that any loss would likely invite claims of political misuse of the Justice Department. We're also seeing signs of internal dissent within the Justice Department. Reports suggest that some career prosecutors presented a memo urging against charging Comey, arguing the evidence didn't establish probable cause. So, we're left wondering, was this indictment driven by politics or law? It's worth noting that former President Donald Trump has been vocal about his desire to take action against Comey and other rivals. He's even criticized other prosecutors for saying they had no case. That kind of public commentary can feed defense arguments about selective prosecution. Now, at the center of this emerging narrative is Lindsay Halligan, the newly installed U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. With only 3 federal cases under her belt, some are questioning whether she's up to the task of handling a high-profile case like this one. But hey, as she says, sports and pageants taught me confidence, discipline, and how to handle pressure. The Comey prosecution is not just about one man's legal jeopardy. It's also a test of institutional boundaries. It raises questions about whether Congress can rely on truthful testimony from top officials and whether the Justice Department can enforce that obligation free of political interference. So, what's at stake here? Well, if the indictment falters, it could harden perceptions of politicization and make future perjury cases against senior officials even harder to bring. On the other hand, a successful prosecution could bolster congressional oversight and reinforce the idea that even the highest-ranking officials must tell the truth under oath. The case is scheduled to go to trial on October 9th, where Comey's attorneys plan to file motions challenging the sufficiency of the charges and alleging political pressure. Whatever the outcome, it will shape perceptions of the Justice Department's independence and the risks of politicizing high-profile prosecutions. That's all for today's episode of Vinzo. Thanks for watching.